Hello and welcome. My name is TyrionLanstr. Alright guys, today I want to talk about free-to-play commanders and which awakening skills I would recommend you get. So I'm going to break this down into a couple of categories because there's a wide array of different free-to-play commanders. You have some of the, actual offensive ones like Guerrelle, Arya, where their skills are going to help you in actual attacks. Then you also have some of the ones like Sheila that it's going to help you a little bit for attack, but also going to help you just with upkeep, or ones like Soren that are going to do the same. We're kind of helping with your actual castle and its needs. So there's a wide variety of different, what you're going to get from them. A lot of them you're going to notice are kind of where they give you some stats, some help for your castle. So a lot of it is kind of in evaluating, well, which of those things do you want most? And also it's important to realize there are a lot of these commanders that have not been awakened yet. So a lot of them are still yet to get, and as a result, we don't know what they're going to give us yet. You can see down here, there are a ton of free-to-play commanders. All these gold guys, none of them have been awakened yet. But the ones that we do, we have some idea of what we get from them. So I'm going to start with Robert. Robert's, and I'm really talking about only about the 4-star awakening. The rest of it, you can figure out if you want to get. But as you can see, you're getting iron production, fortification durability, iron gathering, all that good stuff. Now his 4th-star ability gives him 10% spearman reduction, 200% iron production, and 500 iron capacity, 500% iron capacity. So it's basically making you get more iron, which is going to be really good if you're a farm. Like if you're an iron farm, this is awesome. He's probably the very first commander you should unlock to 4 stars if you're an iron farm. If you're not, you probably don't care about this a lot. That being said, if you're a paid account, just think about this for a second. This immediately gives you a 10% enemy spear defense reduction. That might be really good. I mean, that's an immediate 10%. Like, if you have nothing else to spend your books and your elite tokens on, maybe Robert is worth the purchase for you because you get that passive bonus. It's not something that you actually have to do. You don't actually have to have him in your lineup. It helps everyone. So this is a nice passive where you don't need to have Robert in your lineup in order to get these bonuses. It's a very common trend with these commanders. All right, next, Kravis. Now, Kravis is an interesting one because they gave us actually all of the tokens for him. You should have gotten enough if you've been playing for a little while, so you only need the Books of Wisdom to unlock him. He's going to give you basically just fortification attack, bow attack, and then fortification and construction. The bow attack is really the only thing that actually matters there, though. Now, this is an interesting ability. When your bowmen attack, they have a 20% chance of attacking again. This is a very interesting one that synergizes really well with a lot of other bow commanders. So if you're a full bow account, you may want Kravis all the way maxed. But if you're not, this is not going to be very helpful to you, right? If you're not using bow attack often, you don't really care about this, and it doesn't give you any passive. So we'll keep moving on. All right, next up we have Soren. So Soren's an interesting one. He's also going to give a lot of stone production, kind of the same way Robert gave iron production. He gives stone. You also get some research speed, which is nice, as well as fortification construction. Now, his bonus is that you get 100% extra resources from gathering. This is huge. I mean, that is a big bonus. Like, the biggest one actually is on Diamond Day. You get to double how many diamonds you were going to get. If you were going to get a level 5 that's, like 2,100 diamonds, all of a sudden you're getting 4,200. That's a big bonus just on using Soren in that lineup alone. You only get it in the lineup that Soren's actually in. It's not that everyone gets that bonus. So it is still really nice and definitely worthwhile getting. The other advantage is that by getting Soren to level 80 and getting him to that level 10, you get a bonus when he's in your lineup in training grounds or potentially when attacking rebel leaders. So there's a double bonus to getting him higher. He definitely has a lot of advantages there too. Next, let's talk about Arslan. Arslan is one of the actual combat stats. Kind of, Kravis was a combat stats, but this is specifically for spears. So giving lots of spear attack, health, and defense. Also some wood production, but mostly the spear stuff. Also, he gives a heal. This is a huge, huge bonus because if you remember how Jamie's skill works, healing synergizes well with it. So Arslan has the potential to synergize with a paid commander. But if we're focusing on this just from the perspective of of a free-to-play account, I think that the heal is huge, and if I'm a spear account, absolutely, Arslan is a top priority for me to get him maxed to level 4. Alright, I'm going to skip over Sabrina since she's not really truly like free to play. You can't really max her if you don't have like a ton of Sabrina medals because you can't get them elsewhere. Alright, let's talk about Barrett. So, Barrett. Barrett similarly is going to give lots of imp stats, kind of the same thing as Arslan, but for imp. But his attack is kind of a synergized with the bleed skills. This is based on the whole Sandor ability and what he brought along with Arya and some of the others that do the bleed stuff. But basically, this is a very, very good commander that can synergize with them. If you're just a standard Infitrack castle, also going to be really, really good. He's giving a definite bonus to you. That's really great, and you should probably want that. And, it actually means that if you're going up against someone like Peter Baelish or one of those other accounts where the attacks can cause the confusion, this is a nice way to avoid that. So maybe it can be a counter to a paid castle, and you don't have to worry about that because Barrett silences and doesn't do his attacks anymore, and then you can't hurt yourself. So definitely Barrett's an interesting one that I definitely recommend if you're an Inf Castle that you should get. Alright. And again, I will add that Barrett, just like Arslan and Soren, definitely going to be helpful in training grounds, since those are standard attack castles that probably do a lot of damage that might end up being helpful to you, definitely for helping to kill rebel leaders. Alright. Obin. Obin definitely going to help you in the training grounds, getting him to level 80. And this is another one. He gives just kind of stone basic stuff, as well as endurance rate, which is actually not bad. But he also gives this passive bonus again, similarly to the other ones we've seen: infantry defense reduction, stone production, and stone city capacity. So notice, enemy infantry defense reduction by 10%. Let's compare this to Robert, and we'll notice that it is extremely similar. This one, was 10% spear and then iron production and iron capacity. So very, very similar between these two. I'm sure we can expect to get a new one that's going to be dealing with calves very soon. But until then, you got Obin gives the spear spear defense reduction, and Robert gives the infantry defense reduction. Okay, so some of the other ones we have. We have Chris. Chris is another good one if you're an Inf Castle. He's giving lots of Inf stats. That's going to be good for you. And his passive is just kind of whenever your infantry loses 5%, you gain actually 3% defense. So that's definitely good. Basically going to give you more Inf stats, but only really helpful if you are an Inf Castle. So if you're an Inf Castle, definitely get Chris, Barrett, and then we'll get to Haley in a little bit, but there are a couple of good free-to-play commanders who give pure stats that can make you a pretty formidable infantry castle. Alright, gonna skip over these. Let's go back to Rob. Rob is the only free-to-play cavalry castle that we have just so far. Looking back on it, you can see these are all infantry, spear, or bowman. The only cav one that we've gotten to so far is Rob. Hopefully we're going to be getting some other ones soon, but his is probably one of the best 4 stars. You just get, every time you get an attack, you get 2% more cav attack. This is pretty solid. I mean, if you get, say 10, 11 attacks in a full round, that's going to be 20% bonus attack by the end or more. So definitely Rob is a good one to get 4 stars. His hidden abilities giving him lots of cav stats, so definitely a good one. If you're a cav castle like me, definitely worth the purchase. Alright, Haley. Haley, very similarly to Rob and the others, giving base infantry stats, going to be really helpful for that. Also, I love this motivation limit that she gives. And then she's going to give an infantry attack buff, where they gain a shield. It actually synergizes pretty well with some of the female skills, but it's a free-to-play account, not going to be using that. Alright, and we have a few more left. Sheila. This is the one that I think is your top priority. I think that everyone should be getting this. These passive skills aren't great, but this is a huge passive. Getting your upkeep consumption rate reduced by 50%, gives you the capacity to make it 0, which means you can accumulate as much grain as you want, and you will never have to worry about people eating it away. This is huge whether you're a farm or whatever account you are to stockpile grain. Then you can send it to other accounts. You can use it to train more troops, whatever it might be. I personally just find that to be a huge buff. Also, the bow attack, 25% if you're a bow castle. Great, it's passive. You don't need to use Sheila again. You don't need her in the lineup. You just get that bow attack. Other thing, Sheila should be used almost every Rebel Leader attack, and in a lot of training grounds formations. Getting her to level 80 going to be a huge buff in those attacks, so definitely worth getting. Alright, Arya. Arya is another one that I think is almost a must-buy. First of all, she gives you total attack stats, which is great. You're getting 14% more total attack. That puts her, to be clear, she gets 15% that gets increased to 24 because of the whole 3-star thing. She gives you more total attack than Daenerys Targaryen right now. Think about that. She gives more total attack than Dany. And Dany is one of the most expensive commanders you can get. So definitely worth getting, especially if you're infantry, so you get the infantry health and defense. And then her 4-star skill is actually a really, really strong one. The whole death marker thing, where for every death marker you do increased skill damage to that target. Definitely a good one to get to level 80. Highly, highly recommend her. Alright, last but not least, we have Guerrelle. Now, Guerrelle, similarly to Arya, really good one to get, but specifically if you're a spear castle, giving you great spear stats, and giving you this whole target's defense is decreased by 3% every time a spearman strikes. Think of this as kind of like basically the flip of what Rob does, where he increases cav attack. He's just, Guerrelle is going to decrease the target's defense every time a spearman hits. So both very, very strong, very, very good. Again, Guerrelle is one that you're probably using in training grounds a lot. Getting him to level 80 will probably help that. So Guerrelle might be one that is also worth investing in and getting to level 80. Basically, if you're a spear account, you should be feeling pretty good. If you can get Arslan, Guerrelle, both of those guys awakened, and Arya, those are 3 strong commanders that are going to help you out. Infantry, even better. You've got Arya, Haley, Chris, Barrett. You're looking really, really good if you're an infantry castle. There are a lot of good options. And then if you're bows, you actually have enough bow commanders that you could do a full bow level 4 awakening and be really set. Unfortunately, a lot of those bow commanders, like I said, give the whole passive abilities, whether it's Sheila or Robert or Obin. They're not really going to give anything else specifically in that fight, but it's still good to have them as they do more damage from, you can see down here the whole Spirit Bearers, what Guerrelle does, but each of them have a different ability that does more damage for more stars, so good to have them. Alright, I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned a thing or two about all the free-to-play commanders and their 4-star skills and which I'd recommend for your account. I think we can expect that in the coming weeks, hopefully we'll be getting some of these other commanders to finally get awakened. I expect that we'll see either Mango or Russell or maybe, Meryl or Mango or Russell, just because we don't have any other cavalry commanders awakened yet that are free to play, and it feels like we need a few more. But hopefully this taught you a thing or two, and until next time, my name is TyrionLanstr. I'll see you then.